that the Asians or the Chinese are, I believe, Ammon and Moab. Is that correct, Bishop?
Yep.
Okay. So if the white race are the Edomites, and you said on Donato's channel that all Africans are Israelites except for the Nilots, we know that the 12 tribes chart tells us that all Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans and Negroes are Israelites. And the white man is an Edomite. So basically, the whole North America, Central America, South America, they are all the descendants of Abraham. When talking about the
No.
white man, if the white man is Esau and the Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Negroes in the Americas are the Israelites,
No.
then they are all the descendants of Abraham.
He was
correct?
nice to you, bro. He was nice to you. He was very, very nice. Bishop, I'm glad you kept your composure, because I would have said, nigga, did you not hear me tell you no? He was very, very nice. Let it play.
No.
How so?
You're trying to say that everybody in North, Central, and South America is an Israelite. That's wrong. Because anyone that whose
No,
father...
that's not what I asked you.
Hold on, Ron. Allow Bishop Nathaniel to respond.
Anybody whose father is Caucasian, like many of the Latinos are mixed with black, white, and indigenous. So anyone who comes from Esau, so-called Caucasians, those are not Israelites, whose fathers are Edomites. The native indigenous people and the blacks, those are Israelites. So if your father comes from that, then you are an Israelite. And this is why Christ said, let the wheat and the tares grow together. And at the end, let the angels separate them.
Because we don't know exactly who's who, okay? But you're looking for something to try to make it look like you deep. And you will easily get dismantled and handled. You will eat just easy. What you're putting forth is easy to dismantle. Keep letting it play. Keep letting it go.
From another. Because we can't go so much off of looks. We go so much off the spirit. And at the end, the angels are going to deal with it. Whoever's not Israel, the angels are going to separate them.
Thank you.
Whoever is Israel, the angels will gather them in.
Okay, I don't think you understood what I'm saying.
Now he's trying to act like we don't understand. We get this question every night in Clubhouse, where they're trying to make us say something that we're not saying. And they keep repeating it over and over like it's going to change. So you now on social media saying he ran and he didn't answer you. You're a liar. I deal with this almost every night, sir. You're a liar. And the only thing that the bishop did wrong was to not call you nigga on while he was doing this. Let it play.
The Caucasians in the Americas, the Latinos, Native Americans, Hispanics, and the Negroes, they are all the descendants of Abraham. If you're saying that the white men are the Edomites and the Negroes, Hispanics, Latin Americans, and Native American Indians are Israelites, then yes, all these groups of people I just mentioned would be considered the descendants of Abraham, and thus technically they are Hebrews. Yes?
I'm listening. Go with your. What is your question? What is your question?
So now that we established that, even though you didn't answer the question, who are the descendants of Gomer, Magog, Meshach, Tubal, Togarmah, that are listed in Ezekiel 38 prophecy, which states in the future, in the latter days, that these nations, along with the descendants of Persia and Cush and Put, are going to leave their land, and they're going to come to the land of unwalled villages, a land where people are dwelling without bars nor gates, dwelling in peace, rest, and safety. And it says in the future Ezekiel 38 prophecy that these Japhetic nations are going to have an evil thought, an evil scheme, an evil plan, an evil agenda against who? The Israelites and the land. Because it says in Ezekiel 38 that they are going to come with the intent to steal, to plunder, to loot, and to prey upon the people, meaning the Israelites, their land and all that is within it, like silver, gold, livestock. Obviously, arable land is something that is a raw material. You can use that to farm. So, shouldn't we or you teach who are the descendants today of Japheth's sons, Gomer, Magog, Meshach, Tubal, and the son of Gomer, Togomoth? Who are they today, Bishop?
Okay. Ron,
Right,
let's
those are
allow
Jap-
Bishop Nathaniel to answer now. We'll keep you in the back end and we'll allow other people to come in. Bishop, did you get the question?
Yep, I got it. It has nothing to do with the topic. Like I knew he would come up with some confusion. But anyway, give me Revelation 20:7. It has nothing to do with Kenya.
Keep it
It has nothing to
respectful.
do
Let's
with
keep it
France.
respectful, Bishop Nathaniel. Let's keep it respectful. Works both ways.
He should have called them the N-word. I'm sorry. He answered you. You all over the place. Okay, your questioning is of no relevance to what we're doing. But let it play.
Revelation 20:7.
The book of Revelation, chapter 20 and verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired.
Stop.
this is
Pause it. Pause
after
it. Pause it. Pause it. Pause it. Pause it. Pause it. Pause it. Because it speaks about the Israelites when Christ come, and they're going to rule with Christ 1,000 years. And this is after the 1,000-year reign. God is going to destroy the nations. Those are the people that Ron Dalton is not. Ron, you don't know the scriptures. You don't know the scriptures. I guarantee you, if we go scripture for scripture, you'll get bodied. You don't know the scriptures. I guarantee you. One thing I know, you may be a good movie producer, a documentary producer. You don't know the scriptures. You ain't got the answers. So he's talking about after the Israelites rule with Christ 1,000 years, God is going to set it up so that the other nations come and attack Israel. Okay, in Ezekiel chapter 38, and those nations are going to be destroyed. That is not, he's trying to say that that's Esau. Okay, a lot of Israelite groups believe that that's Esau. They're wrong, and their teaching is flawed. But let it play.
Revelation 20:7.
The book of Revelation, chapter 20 and verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired.
So this is after the kingdom, 1,000 years after the kingdom is set up.
Satan shall be loosed out of his prison.
Satan shall be loosed out of his kingdom.
And shall go
Out of his what?
Out of his prison.
Out of his prison, excuse me. Go ahead.
And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth.
Right.
Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea.
The Israelites.
So now, let's find out who that is. Give me Isaiah 24. So this Satan that it's talking about, it's not just a spiritual Satan. It's talking about the white man. Okay? Isaiah 24 and 22, it says the same thing.
Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 22. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit.
So these prisoners gathered in the pit are the same ones in Revelation 20 and 7. Satan and his minions, which goes with Esau and his allies. Go ahead.
And shall be shut up in the prison.
And they're going to be shut up in the prison. Where's this at? The Caucasus Mountains. Scythia, that whole region up there. Go ahead.
And after many days shall they be visited.
When it says after many days they shall be visited, they shall be loosed. So these Europeans, even those Europeans that are mixed race with other races, with Japheth, that's what it's going into. Okay? And I said, I don't see what it has to do with
pause it, pause it. It tells you that Esau mingled his seed amongst the nations. Okay? So all of them are not who you think that they are. They mingle themselves amongst everybody. But let it play.
Even those Europeans that are mixed race with other races, with Japheth, that's what it's going into. Okay? And I said, I don't see what it has to do with what we're talking about. But that's the answer.
Okay,
Even
Ron.
the mixed race.
He didn't give an answer. He just said Europeans, Caucasians, white people. According to their
And mixed
teachings,
race.
they are all Edomites.
Okay.
Yep.
Your parting shot, Ron.
Okay, Europeans and Caucasians are Edomites, correct?
Yep.
So how did you explain to us who are the descendants today of Japheth's sons, Gomer, Magog, Meshach, Tubal, and Togarmah? You did not explain that.
A lot of those, yes, I can
He
explain it.
just explained it.
If you get
Go
history
ahead.
books, it shows that
Go
those
ahead.
are
We're waiting.
many of the Polynesians, the Hawaiians, many of them of Thailand, a lot of them, that's them. Because when you look at the archaeology,
just
they
did a
are
video.
brown skin.
Hold on.
Why
hold
you
on.
interrupting
You see how he's giving the answer and he's interrupting him? This is why you got to curse people out. You ask him, he's giving an answer, and you interrupted him and going someplace else. Then y'all get mad when we cuss y'all out. Let it play.
Hold
Why
on,
you
Ron.
interrupting?
Ron, hold on, Bishop. Hold on. Ron, I want you to say your parting shot, and then we'll take you out, and then we'll allow other people to come in.
Okay,
I don't want-
even the host got to tell him, yo, shut up. Because he's asking him stuff, and before he can answer, he's jumping to something else. Now you're on social media saying we ran and we can't answer your questions. This is light work, bro. This is not hard. This is not hard. And just so you understand what's going on, he's one of them Israelites that love Esau. So they'll say that Esau is everybody else but who we say it is. So that's why he's trying to push this. That's his agenda, to save Edomites. Okay, you got Israelite groups that look at them as they did nothing wrong. And that's his agenda. That's what he's trying to push. He's not the first one. We've heard this before. Okay, and I'm going to prove to you that we've heard this before, and the bishop has covered this before, because we heard this foolishness 13, 14 years ago. As the Israelite movement started to get popular, you had ignorant Negroes popping up trying to say that those same people of Japheth, that's who the white man is today. You wrong.
First, okay, go ahead.
I was going to read this next verse at the back of the point. Verse 17, for if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. But if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me.
Right.
Yep, and that dispensation, when you get that word, it goes into a stewardship.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much this is the lot that we have, man, through the Spirit, man.
Yeah.
You know, what you got to know.
1 Peter 5:2. Feed the flock of the Most High which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. And like you say, well, what you see with the apostles is a ready mind to constantly teach, go into topics. This is why when these guys are being confronted by these Christians and by these guys who don't know the truth, they're being confounded because they're not of a ready mind. They're doing what the hell they want to do. Now it's showing. A lot of people think because they can shoot threes, okay, and dribble a little bit, they'll be a good basketball player.
No, you gotta learn the fundamentals.
You know what I'm saying? So they get that, or boxing. I got power, but you're not working on your game.
Yeah, you ain't got no footwork.
You ain't got no footwork. You ain't got no wind.
Yeah, no jab.
You know what I'm saying? No defense.
Yeah.
So you get in the ring with some, you know what I'm saying, and you see a style that you ain't been in the gym. Now a style that you ain't seen, a nigga aggressive, but he also got footwork. You like, God damn, I don't know what to do, and you get embarrassed, and people recording it. You guys ain't in the gym. You too focused on the side missions. You're not going down the straight and narrow path. Now Ronald Dalton's got your ass scurry. Y'all hung up on the dude.
This weird nigga.
He don't even believe in the chariots. He said the chariots are nowhere in the Bible. And he's so slow. He said Jerusalem can't be the Holy Land because only this certain amount of people can fit there in that land. What? You idiot, they're not in the fulfillment of the whole promised land. Don't you know there's a whole promised land? He's basically saying that little plot of land couldn't be the Holy Land because only so many, how many people does it fit?
He doesn't even understand the dynamics of the Holy Land.
He don't understand that the Holy Land, that the Jerusalem is just the starting point. There's a whole plot of land.
Big too.
And it's big. So I mean, this guy is low level. Japheth is the white man. He don't know what he's talking about. But that guy made y'all scurry and hang up on him. Couldn't even deal with his question.
Because they used to being on offense. They're not used to defending the gospel.
Right.
And going through the scriptures.
They was getting frustrated. He's like, what do you want? What do you want?
He was mad he called.
Okay, I had to listen to it. He was going. They was going.
Yeah, he eventually hung up on him. Like, get him.
He was getting mad.
Ronald Dalton was like had him like they were bringing out points that had nothing to do with his question. They didn't know how to answer it. The spirit ain't with him.
He was pressured his day. He was walking up
Because
on
basically his question was, okay, when you go into Ezekiel 38th chapter, because y'all say all of the, it's a low level argument. Y'all say all white people are Edomites, which that's not true.
Yep.
We don't teach that. We teach that there even certain Israelites are going to look like that. But anyway, he was saying, well, when you get Ezekiel 38 and you see Gog, Meshach, Tubal, these are Japhetic names. What tribes are those people? And IUIC was just, give me this point, give me that. 1,000-year period. They didn't know what to say.
They're in those. Esau's in those lands.
Clearly, the spirit's not with you, bro.
Wow.
And we ain't saying this to be proud, but that should be dealt with easily.
Yeah, your first 6 months in the truth. You're learning these understandings about the scriptures and the history of the scriptures.
Right. Our apostles and elders went through that. Japheth is not the white man. Remember Apostle Ramon went through that?
He did a video today on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a video today on it.
So Great Millstone has videos because that's an argument that's of the world, but you may encounter it as an Israelite.
And just on pure common sense, if the so-called white man was Japheth, there would be way more prophecies concerning Japheth.
There you go.
Because the so-called white man has been ruling in history for thousands of years. These things will be mentioned.
Yeah.
It will be like Japheth this, Japheth
It would
that.
say Japheth is the end of the world.
You know what
because
I'm
if
saying?
the so-called white man who rules now is Japheth, that means Esau in rulership, so we ain't at the end.
Yeah.
You got to go into captivity.
So these are spiritual ways you could cut that, but a guy like him wouldn't even get that. So ultimately, you bring out the truth, but you're supposed to edify on that point. The people who watch that video who belong to your congregation are left hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to turn the question back on a nigga that can't break it down.
Yeah.
So Rome is ruled by Japhites.
Right.
Where's it in the scripture?
The Medes were Japheth. Yeah.
You know?
What's that scripture? Being ready to give answer.
Oh, be ready to give an answer.
Study to show thyself approved too.
Scripture in Habakkuk, it says it will be a people that will heap unto himself all people.
Yeah.
So that's prophecy.
Right.
And whose Esau, his blessing was to rule by the sword.
Rule by the sword. I mean,
He would get the
it's not mentioned that Japheth will be doing anything in end time prophecy. Japheth has no weight in end time prophecy. Japheth's last glory was the Medes.
So the only thing you're gonna hear about it when you say the nations, Japheth is in that. So the Lord gonna judge the nations.
Right.
Yeah, Japheth is a part of that, just like everybody else. But
right. So
that's it.
The Edomites took over the Japhetic land. The Edomites took over the Hamitic lands. The Edomites and the heathen have taken the lands and they removed the landmark, which is a sin according to the scriptures, man. Okay?
I got that scripture for you.
Yeah.
1 Peter 3:15. Damn, it disappeared on my screen. Like literally, it just went away. That's weird. Let me just get it. It's like this.
You'll get that one.
2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto
Study
Yahweh.
to show thyself. Read it again.
2 Timothy 2 and 15. Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Right, and you're ashamed. You guys look ashamed. You other guys out there who Christians come and cut you on Paul, you don't even know how to utilize Paul. You don't even know how to go into the history. Okay, you're telling a Christian Paul's writings ain't the word of God. Then they start to capitalize. Then you misquote Paul. Then you lie on the scriptures. You say in the book of Acts 21, Sakari, in Acts 21, the leadership cursed Paul out for teaching against circumcision. That's not a lie. They actually told Paul, as concerning the Gentiles, they need to continue doing what we ordered in Acts the 15th chapter. Nowhere was Paul rebuked. for what he was teaching. You see that? So you all are getting confounded because you're not studying. Read it again.
2 Timothy 2 and 15. Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Right. What does it say in the NLT?
In the NLT, verse 15, work hard so you can present yourself to the Most High and receive his approval. Be a good worker, one who does not need to be ashamed and who correctly explains the word of truth.
There you go. So that point when Bishop Nate, the great Nate, was asked that question, he didn't know how to answer it. Then he went into that terrible 1,000-year breakdown, which that has nothing to do with it. What you bringing up the 1,000 year for? He was asking specifically about the names mentioned in Ezekiel, what tribes are those people? Because he can go to it and say, all right, Gog, Magog, which that ties back to Japheth, the physical descendants of Japheth, all right, because that was their land. But spiritually, prophetically, who's there now?
That's it.
The Russians in prophecy are even called the Medes. The Medes were Japhetic. Okay, but when you look at the area of the USSR before it was breaking up, the territory where the Medes is right in that area. So it's speaking to those who would be ruling in that land, okay, in end time prophecy, which are Edomites. They're not, you can't, you call yourself an Ashkenazi Jew, you can't be Japhetic and Shemitic. Right. Okay, they call because they say Ashkenazi Jew, Ashkenazi, Germany, Poland. So they're saying, well, basically, the white man is Japheth. How simple can you be, man? You can't be Japhetic, Shemitic. Which one are they?
Don't work like that.
They're claiming to be Jews who fathers, because a lot of those small hats who went to the land in 1948, where was they originally from? Germany. Okay? They were from Germany. And they were brought in large amounts over to that land. And what did they start to do? All right, through certain unrighteous decrees, all right, get those Palestinians out of there. Okay? And eventually, all right, you got the Balfour Declaration, because they had already been going to the land of Israel, okay, before the Balfour Declaration. You have what you call the first Aliyah, the second Aliyah. Okay? So these small hats were being brought, all right, because the powers that be, the elites, had their plan to make that particular plot of land an Edomite dominated and ruled area. They wanted it for their people. The scriptures say their eyes stand out with fatness. They covet lands. That's all that happened.
Yep, I got that.
What's the next verse say?
So the shun, profane, and vain babblings. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 16. But shun profane and vain babbling.
A nigga like Ron Dalton come around, either you cut him and get him up out of there. You cut him with the truth, then you start to ask him questions. So, where is Babylon? Who ruled? What nation will rule Babylon in end time prophecy? Where are the Edomites? The scriptures say Esau is the end of the world. Well, I don't believe in the New Testament. Well, then you cut him on that. Then ultimately, a guy like that, you get him up out of there. You shouldn't allow a guy like that to pressure you, man. He got you on the ropes. Flabbergasted.
He was flabbergasted.
Then you just hung up on the guy.
Eyes was all big. He was hurt. He was mad. Like Bishop Daniel, he was frustrated.
He was frustrated. Because he's used to everybody kissing his ass. Nah, Ron Dalton came to fight. He came for the smoke.
Yep.
And really, he was mad because the Hamite or African dude, it could be a Jake, that mediates that show, didn't tell Nate that I'm going to bring Ron Dalton on. Usually, he just brings some people on. He pre-screens them. Okay, Nate usually knows probably what they're going to talk about. But Dalton came in, and Nate didn't even speak to him. Deacon Asaph spoke to him, but Bishop Nathaniel, he was like, nigga, oh boy, this nigga. He was mad. He was like if he walked up right now, ultimately we would just cut him, and we would start asking him about prophecy. After we cut him, either you believe us what we say about Japheth or not. Now let's get into the prophecies. Where's Japheth in prophecy? Somebody get Psalms 137.
It's a psalm. All right, Psalm 137 and
Yep.
All right, Psalm 137 and 7. Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem.
Right. Remember Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem. This is David, right? And this is a psalm. Go ahead.
Who said, raise it even to the foundation thereof.
Going to the history of when the Babylonians sacked the temple, the Edomites were helping them. Okay, they were bringing us, I found one, helping them burn down certain portions of the temple. And David was like, man, remember that shit. Even Jeremiah, while he was watching them in their pride, in the book of Lamentations, he said, I forget, in Lamentations 4:22.
Oh, 4:22.
Rejoice and be happy, O daughter of Edom. The cup shall also pass unto thee. So prophetically, the end of Zion's or Israel's captivity ends with Esau's rule. You got to go line up on line, precept upon precept. You can't allow no low-level nigga like that to trip you up on something that minuscule. Because really the power lies in prophecy. We can go into the history and this, the Khazars and this all day, but really prophecy cuts that argument.
Right.
Read that, go ahead.
Yep, it says, who said, raise it even to the foundation thereof.
Right.
Verse 8, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed.
Daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed. So here it is, David brings up, Lord, remember Esau's sins. Then he immediately brings up, O daughter of Babylon, which ought to be destroyed. What does that mean? That shows you the two are linked.
Yep.
Babylon the Great will be ruled over by Edomites, not Japhites.
That's what a daughter does in a house.
Yeah.
She forwards the house. Is what daughters do. They come and they serve within a house. The Edomites were basically daughters or sisters within the Babylonian nation, and they grew and built off that. And so when the prophecies talk about Edom as a daughter to Babylon, they're a continuation of that Babylonian spirit.
There you go.
Of idol worship, captivity, lewdness, but they went even farther than the ancient Babylonians did.
The Chaldeans, yeah.
The Chaldeans,
right.
They went further. Okay,
that's why the scripture says pretty much they further the affliction.
Right.
You know?
In Revelation, it says mystery Babylon the Great, which goes deeper into the witchcrafts, and that's Esau.
Yep. Esau's the end of the world, man. Not Japheth. So again, anybody who's of the opinion that Japheth rules the world right now,
it's not mystery.
Well, okay. We ain't at the end. Because prophetically, Japheth has nothing. I mean nothing outside of their lands are mentioned, but as a nation of people ruling, no. Okay?
I'll finish off the verse. It says, verse 8, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed.
Somebody get Joel in the last two verses. Go ahead.
Happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us.
You think it's gonna rain?
Yeah, you can feel it, right?
Yeah. Should we go over there?
It's starting to get a little bit cooler too.
They're covering?
It's starting to pick up, for sure.
If it picks up some more?
If it picks up a little bit more, probably need to move to cover.
Right. I have. Brother could probably stand over the camera.
You do that?
But you gotta pay. Yeah, you gotta pay to touch this umbrella. Oh, he got it.
Yeah, it's crazy in that song.
Okay.
The precepts.
I know you writing precepts down.
The precepts here has what, Isaiah 13, which talks about the Medes destroying Babylon, right? Isaiah 47, Revelation 18. Well, you know who will be controlling mystery Babylon in the last days. It will be Edom, man.
It will be the Edomites. Okay, and that's just true. Okay, prophetically, the Edomites will be in rulership. Who is this that cometh from Edom? My sword shall be bathed in Idumea, the people of my curse to judgment. Nowhere can you go and find Japheth like that in prophecy, bro.
I'm gonna read this. So I typed this into Grump. What does the Bible say about Japheth prophetically? It says this. Talks about Japheth being one of Noah's sons. Says this is the key prophetic statement about Japheth. Here's what it implies: enlarged Japheth. This suggests Japheth's descendants were spread out widely, occupying vast territories.
Right, because the Lord gave Japheth the biggest territory of land. For prophecy's sake. Go ahead.
2. Dwell in the tents of Shem. This implies a relationship where Japheth's descendants would share in the spiritual or cultural blessings of Shem's line, often interpreted as Shemitic peoples, Semitic peoples, including Israel.
Right, and they ruled too alongside the Assyrians, the Medo-Persian, all right, empire. The Assyrians were up in there as well. Okay, and they're Shemitic. Okay, go ahead.
3. Canaan be his servant. This reinforces the subjugation of Canaan, Ham's son, to both Shem and Japheth, tying into the broader curse in Canaan in Genesis chapter 9. No further explicit prophecies about Japheth appear in the Bible. His role is largely genealogical,
right,
with his descendants populating regions like Europe, the Mediterranean, and parts of Asia.
Right, the Asians, the Polynesians, the Hawaiians.
Well, they got moved out into those areas.
Yeah, they got moved into those areas. But those are the original Japhites.
Right.
You can look up the Minoans.
Yeah.
You know, the Aborigines are basically, those are the original Japheth. And you notice, really, in the grand scheme of life that you live, they ain't really a factor.
Right. Nope.
There ain't nobody really, you know what I'm saying? You had Tatanka, you had Jimmy Snooker, which he could have been a Jake, but really, Japheth and the Hawaiians,
they just good for O-line.
You know, a big offensive lineman for Arizona State, you know what I'm saying? Like a big nigga made it, like, okay. But even in the story, they really don't have a big role like that. And again, the Medes that ruled alongside the Persians were Japhetic. So you telling me that the Edomite, the white man that rules this earth today, that was him ruling alongside the Assyrians? I mean, alongside the Persians? Which I believe the Persians are Shemitic, right? Elam is they're Shemitic.
Yeah.
So when it said he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, that also fulfilled that prophecy too. Because Japheth ruled alongside, all right, a Shemitic people, the Elamites. Okay? But these guys, everybody wants to save Esau. And my question is why? How do you find out you're an Israelite and everything that you talk about has to centered around freeing the white man of guilt?
Yep.
Why? That's why you're not a leader. Ronald Dalton is not one of those guys. He's not a prophet.
He's not him.
He's not him. He got some decent ideas. Give him that. Okay? He has a vision, but it's the wrong vision. And you let that guy have your ass on the back foot, man.
Yeah.
IUIC, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High.
Certain things historically are spiritual as well. Now, you mentioned the Greek Dark Ages, which I've done a few lessons on this. When you want to study the Dorians and or the Sea Peoples, and when you read the history of it, it's these people that traveled to Macedonia, that traveled to the land of the Latins, or what we understand as the land of Japheth, and they just took the fuck over. Who did that? Then you get this story about how Esau or the Agagites, you know, were in Macedonia.
I was just thinking that.
So you had Haman, the Macedonian, the Agagite. He's called the Macedonian and the Agagite in the scripture. And then you see how the Persian king responded to when he figured out Haman was on some sometimey stuff.
In the book of Esther.
In the book of Esther. Why did Xerxes act so aggressively towards the Edomites? There was already ongoing tension with the Macedonians.
And who was Agag? Who was when it says he was an Agagite? What is that? That
That's
goes
an
back
Amalekite.
to an Amalekite king.
right? So not only did he kill Haman, when you go back and read the story of Purim, they killed all the Edomites that was in all of the different provinces, man. It wasn't just like, oh, Haman is being a whole ass nigga, kill him. No. We gonna kill you, your homies, your kinfolk, all y'all got to go. We don't trust y'all. And after that history, there was these perpetual wars that happened between the Macedonian Greeks and the Persians, leading all the way up to Philip II, which is Alexander the Great's father.
Daniel 11 goes into some of that history, right?
Yep. Well, Daniel 11 was more about the Syrian wars. Right. So that's more after Alexander died and you had his 4 generals rule. Right. But leading up to that, when you
think you should be good, bro.
And the Maccabees, the first chapter, you get the brief history, then you got to go look it up and study it.
Yep.
Now that'll lead you into a rabbit hole of trying to go back and back and back and back and back to where you have to just understand it in the spirit. You know? What happened with the Dukes of Edom?
Yeah, where they at?
You have to understand that Israel had a history of writing shit down. The Edomites didn't. The Edomites always hired people to write stuff down. We wrote a lot of the Greek history for them. They conquered people and they wrote it down. You see, the so-called white man wants you to think that they come from a long history of like great scholarship. No. They didn't start doing that until the 1800s. It was Moorish and Israelite people doing that. Asian people too. Let's not get it twisted.
You could just set it right there.
Right? Mesopotamian people that was carving stuff, and you know, let's be real about history.
Right.
So there's gaps and things that the Most High put in there. I want you to go back to that scripture, to where it's spiritually discerned, where you putting the pieces together spiritually.
You got to put it as the spirit.
The spirit don't match the so-called white people being Japheth, because Japheth has no significant history of ruling the world.
There's no prophecy
killing
of us,
the Israelites.
If it's no prophecy of a long friction, that would be like Jacob and Esau. They were wrestling in the womb. There's a prophecy that the seed of the serpent would have enmity with the seed of the woman.
Who is that?
That prophecy has played out. I mean, what do you think was going on? Why was Herod trying to kill the Messiah?
Right.
He's a part of the seed of the serpent.
Right.
Yahweh Shah is a part of the seed of the woman, Israel. He's a descendant of Israel, the chosen lineage.
Right.
And there's always been friction between that holy seed and the wicked, the seed of the wicked.
It's coming. It's coming. Put it up. Put it up.
To this day.
Me. You see, Frank?
I'm going to give it to you.
No. You protect the electronics.
Yeah.
We true to this. We ain't new to this.
Well, sure. Yeah. You can stand.
Yeah. We ain't gonna malfunction.
He gonna stand right outside the umbrella. He gonna stand right outside the umbrella.
I mean, maybe we can have that big one.
Yeah, I think it's starting to calm down.
Remember when we was preaching in that?
We're gonna make it work.
Remember when we was preaching in that hurricane?
We was over there screaming.
Back when we were young, we used to do dumb shit.
Man, that thunder was hitting hard.
Man, we had so many signs we messed up trying to be over righteous. It was expensive. But anyway, yeah, so you got it's spiritually discerned, man. How you gonna go through all these thousands of years of fighting this dude and it ain't mentioned within the nation of Israel? The conflict between so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans for thousands of years has been we understand who it is. But you gonna say it's Japheth? Where's that at? It don't. It talks about Esau, Edom.
Joel, can we get Joel 3 and 19?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
You know, because this is also known as a spiritual Egypt. America is that spiritual Egypt, which that would mark the final captivity, but that's also ran by Edomites.
Yeah.
Esau is the new Pharaoh. Paul, tells you that in a very sly way in the book of Romans, the 9th chapter.
Right.
Go ahead.
Joel chapter 3, verse 19. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness.
Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. Now we know prophetically that's only tied, okay, to one nation in the earth, all right, in prophecy, to be totally destroyed. Babylon. But it says here, Edom shall be, somebody get the book of Isaiah 49, Jeremiah 49, and around 17. Yeah, that cleanse got me. I'm through that detox. Sheesh.
I'm on this movie cleanse right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on that.
Read it again.
Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness.
There you go. Go ahead.
For the violence against the children of Judah,
Right.
because they have shed innocent blood in their land.
There you go. Keep going.
But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation.
Has that happened yet? No, but it just said Edom is going to be a wilderness, a desolate. So what is that tied to? That's tied to Babylon the Great. Somebody get Jeremiah, the 49th chapter.
I got this real quick.
Yep.
So I went to Grump, I went back, and I said, how do Japheth compare to Edom prophetically? It says, to compare the prophetic destinies of Japheth and Edom in the Bible, we need to examine the relevant scriptures and their implications.
So, go read it again.
Right? I'm reading from Grump. So it's talking about comparing the prophetic things of Japheth and Edom. So I'm gonna skip down to point 2. It lists all these scriptures from Numbers 24, talking about Edom being conquered, Genesis 25, Obadiah, Isaiah 34, Malachi 1. Y'all know these scriptures. If you don't know these scriptures, go read them. Catch up. It says conflict and subjugation. Edom's destiny is marked by conflict with Israel. Japheth doesn't have that. Right? Stemming from Esau's rivalry with Jacob. Prophecies consistently predict Edom's defeat and subservience fulfilled historically when David subjugated Edom and they came back. And later, when the Hasmoneans forcibly integrated Edomites into Judea. And then it says judgment and destruction. Unlike Japheth's blessing, Edom faces divine judgment for pride, violence,
divine judgment,
right? And betraying Israel. Obadiah and other prophets foresee Edom's complete destruction with no remnant. Okay? So you mean to tell me there's another nation outside of what you see as Western European American society that deserves that?
Right.
For violence and pride.
Yeah.
Who matches that? Let's be real. What it is that you got these coons that are tied to the so-called white man for their industry, for their businesses, for their money. So they gotta try to get Esau off. All right? The so-called white man.
Yeah.
They gotta get him off. He ain't that bad.
Right.
So they can continue to get their check. He let me on Amazon.
Right.
Like they ain't been rich coons since forever.
Right.
It says this. Tone. The tone towards Esau. Negative. Emphasizing divine retribution and permanent desolation. Scope.
Permanent desolation. And that's tied to Babylon too. Because that Babylon's going to be a desolation, which we'll get it. Go ahead.
Let me see. All right. That's good. Japheth's prophecy is fulfilled. Its fulfillment is broad and ongoing, seen in the geographic and cultural dominance of Japheth's descendants and their inclusion in the Abrahamic faith. It lacks the specificity of Edom's prophecy, but carries universal implication. Edom's prophecy. Edom's fate is tied to his historical actions, particularly in its hostility during Israel's crisis. It says, but in the first century, Edomites as Idumeans were absorbed into Judea, losing distinct identity. This is where they always want to go. Right? Even though we know Herod was an Idumean. And that means his whole family was Idumean. Which means that the extension of that family was Idumean. The Romans were freaking Edomites, man.
Yeah.
It's not fucking rocket science.
And the revival of Rome is ran by Edomites. Yep.
The bulk of the Romans that were ruling were Edomites. That's where their families came from.
That's why you have Edom, Rome.
That's right.
Right, and it was an Edomite that tried to put Yahushua to death, not a Japheth. Okay? When Yahushua came on the scene, Esau was ruling the world, not Japheth.
Yep.
When he comes back, Esau is going to be ruling the world, not Japheth. Go ahead.
It says contrast and divine purpose. Japheth's prophecy aligns with the Most High's plan to bless all nations, while Edom's reflects consequences for opposing that plan.
And the Lord, yeah, the heathen are going to be blessed, but they're going to be blessed only when they follow the ways of righteousness. Okay? The blessing that the Israelites receive, the heathen don't partake in that, in a sense that they're a part of the second covenant. Go ahead.
Right. Edom's destruction contrasts with Japheth's inclusion in Shem's blessing. I mean, they're going to be around in the kingdom. Everybody say, oh, you know, you saying they ain't going to go to hell. No, everybody going to be in the kingdom of heaven.
It just ain't going to be in a high position.
It's just that the nation of Israel is going to be on top. Everybody else going to be servants. And Esau is going to be at the lowest tier. All right?
That's it. All right, even certain heathen family, you know, if we want to, like Rahab and her family, they ain't going to be in the new covenant, but we can bless that family. Ruth is going to be a high-level concubine in the kingdom. They're going to be blessed above the rest of their people, but again, they're not going to be in a position of rulership. That's hilarious. Okay? Now let's get Jeremiah. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That nigga get. Go ahead.
Yeah,
he probably did that because he didn't want to.
Verse 17.
Yep. Look, because you probably want to start somewhere.
No,
go ahead.
Jeremiah 49, verse 17.
We can go over there.
We got, how much time we got? How about 30 minutes? We can go over there.
Yeah, I mean,
just let fucking listen to
This is Jeremiah 49, verse 17. Also, Edom shall be a desolation.
Edom shall be a desolation.
Who is that?
What is why?
And why?
Yeah.
So you mean tell me some random ass nation, that some Arab nation? Oh yeah, they in Jordan. All these prophecies about some random niggas in Jordan that no one gives a shit about.
Right, they ain't on TV.
They not ruling nothing. They not fucking with nobody. They just in Jordan. That's Edom.
They not in the White House. They ain't nowhere to be.
They ain't nowhere to be found. But all these serious judgments on these people.
Right.
But we tripping. Meanwhile, the person that's gone all across the world, killed, genocide, rape, rob, murder, set up ridiculous laws, running the world in wickedness.
Smoking cigarettes.
So yeah, smoking cigs at the very end of the butt. Just keep lighting it. They Japheth. They gonna be dwelling in tents with Shem. Esau just gonna go from what they doing now to be dwelling with the nation of Israel in the kingdom, chilling, playing a harp while you eating the best lamb you ever had.
Yeah, zero judgment against
new body. This nigga chilling too.
Yeah, this is like the so-called white man just gonna go into the kingdom and have a seat in the tents with Shem.
Right,
no, man.
All this motherfucker.
You just mad. No.
We're gonna read prophecy.
Justice. You niggas have been so destroyed in America, you have no sense of justice, man. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, because we're gonna link Babylon to Edom again. It's all throughout the scriptures, but you have to know how to do it prophetically through the Spirit. Go ahead, read that again.
Isaiah 49, verse 17. Also, Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goes by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof.
Now, now that says Edom. Now, is not that very prophecy tied to Babylon? Somebody get Isaiah 13. Read that again, bro.
Jeremiah 49 and 17. Also, Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goes by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof.
Right. Now, this is Jeremiah 50 and 13. No, keep reading.
Verse 18. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith Yahweh, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it.
That said Edom. Right? Yeah. That said Edom, right? Y'all heard that?
Yeah.
Now, this is Jeremiah 50 and 13. Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Read that again.
Verse 18. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the
verse before that.
Like Jeremiah 49 and 17. Also, Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goes by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof.
Jeremiah 50 and 13. All right. Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her plagues.
Right.
So Babylon is ran by Edomites.
That's right.
This Babylon that we will be delivered out of, it's going to be ran by Edomites. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 18.
Now remember, this is Jeremiah 49, right? Yep. Talking about Edom. Read it.
Jeremiah 49, verse 18. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith Yahweh, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan against the habitation of the strong. But I will suddenly make him run away from her. And who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her?
Read it again.
Jeremiah 49 and 18. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities.
Overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities. Talking about Esau. Edom. Go ahead.
Saith Yahweh, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it.
Right. So this is Isaiah 13 and 19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, and it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Esau, the daughter of Babylon, mystery Babylon.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Now, why couldn't IUIC do this? Bishop Nate, he was in before us.
Right.
Because he rusty right now. He ain't in the gym.
About teaching the
trying to be cute. Oh, he need another woman. Trying to just that one woman doctrine.
Yes, you keep flying to the country. You keep trying to get away.
Right.
Gee, I'll be there next week. And you frustrated.
Can I come?
No, you can't come.
You gotta hide. There's a men's conference every time. There's a men's conference and you actually think them dark chocolate niggas going over to these different countries and not getting no other box? You out of you're sadly mistaken. Right. You can give Jake $40 and he goes somewhere and find some box.
Hit that wedding.
Yeah.
I gotta go to Kenya, baby. I see you in a month.
Nate need another woman, man. You know what I'm saying?
I have one wife and that's all I need.
Now, certain men, that is what they do. You know, certain men, it's better to you just have one. Certain men, it's better you have none.
With all that money, we know.
But you get a Jake with money. What was Alizar doing? He was freaking off.
That's common sense.
He was tripping, so I salivate.
Basically, when a nigga get access to power and money, he loses it. So you can really think that they're just these upstanding men, them proud ass niggas going over to Africa in different parts of the world, and these different women looking at you. Think they just
smile like a mother.
They just stiff arming all of them.
No.
After the men's conference, they just go to the hotel room.
Right, they better than Solomon. Y'all better than Solomon.
After the hotel, after the men's conference, they just eat and just go to the hotel room.
Right. Just FaceTime their wife all night.
niggas they have sex on the Sabbath. They're undisciplined. There's nothing. You think they over there in these different parts? Where else have they been? Israel,
Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea. Oh Lord.
Friday night.
Let me go to Papua New Guinea.
A Friday night in Papua New Guinea. Yeah, all right.
With $5,000 in my just expense.
Yeah. Friday night in Papua New Guinea, they going down.
They gonna be it's Corinthians out there.
Go ahead.
Psalm chapter 137, starting at verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom and the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, that's a connection. The very next verse. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed.
Who is that?
That ain't Japheth.
Where are they?
That ain't Japheth.
In relation, if you the Israelites, if we the Israelites, you so-called Negroes and you Afro natives, or however you want to say it, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, those that came over here, and the prophecies fit. Who are you diametrically opposed to? Who has been fucking with your life according to prophecy? Not according to skin color, according to prophecy.
That's right.
Who does Esau, Edom fit prophetically in the spirit? How is this an argument? Call and read it again, bro.
Spirit of Cain.
Psalm chapter 137, back at verse 8. O daughter of Babylon, matter of fact, 7, verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dashes thy little ones against the stones. So that's a connection right there of Esau and Babylon. Oh, excuse me, the daughter of Babylon. Specifically, which also links to Esau being the end of the world, because when Babylon falls, the kingdom of heaven is established.
So y'all can't run. Y'all ain't got it.
Yeah, he got to be ruling.
Did ancient Babylon go down by?
Come on, man.
Fire and brimstone?
So where nobody lived there no more?
What a land won't be? No. Babylon lost major battles to the Persians, and then they just conceded. It wasn't like Nineveh was just completely obliterated, and they had to. They were just wiped. That's not in the annals of time.
Yeah, it's a war in Iraq in our time. Iraq is the region of ancient Babylon.
Babylon just laid down, and they were absorbed into the Persian Empire.
That's why.
Shit, we was all up in the Persian Empire, and we were absorbed into the Persian Empire, and our top guys that were helping the Babylonians just turned into being the top guys that was helping the Persians.
Right.
Serving the Persians.
Right.
And the Most High sent prophets to tell us to do that.
Right.
Like, yo, these niggas finna come, they're gonna take down the Babylonians, chill out. Just follow them.
So he running the whole thing.
Right?
When you look at particular relics, Cyrus is also known as the king of Babylon.
Yep.
So how was Babylon destroyed if Cyrus was known as the king of Babylon?
He came and took it over. And bro, Cyrus is mentioned as a Messiah because he allowed us to reestablish the temple.
And that's why it's called the daughter. Daughter of Babylon, because it's ways that move forward to this kingdom. But it also says spiritually Sodom, spiritually Egypt, all in one. And this last kingdom is going to stand for a moment of time. It's going to fall, the worst in history. So ain't no excuses. Ain't no excuses. This nigga's ruling, and he got to go down.
Hey, but it's nature.
Okay, he's Esau. The so-called white man, he's Esau, man. Very clear.
Yep. Let's get this.
Isaiah chapter 34, I'll start at verse 5 in the NLT. And when my sword has finished its work in the heavens, it will fall upon Edom, the nation I have marked for destruction. Jumping to verse 10.
Read that again.
Isaiah 34 and 5. And when my sword has finished its work in the heavens, it will fall upon Edom, the nation I have marked for destruction.
Because when Yahushua returns, it's going to be a war in heaven. Now we know there's going to be missile shot on America, but Esau and the different nations are going to fight against the second coming of Yahweh Shai, and they're going to get destroyed.
That ain't Japheth.
That ain't Japheth. Here we go again. Right? Go ahead.
Jumping to verse 10. This judgment on Edom will never end. The smoke of its burning will rise forever.
Right. There you go. That's just like Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, is Sodom and Gomorrah literally burning forever? No, but in legacy and memory, the memorial tied to it, it does burn until this very day. When we read about it, that example. As a reminder, man. Go ahead.
The land will lie deserted from generation to generation.
So it's talking about Edom again. Now, let's get Isaiah 13 again. Let's read kind of like the end.
Y'all will start to meet up against them?
No, the end, like the last two verses.
All right. With dragons, I got you.
We'll start at because of the.
And they'll be inhabited. Okay, because of the.
We'll start at 19.
All right, come. Isaiah 13 and 19. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency.
The glory of kingdoms, meaning Babylon in the end time will be at the forefront. They will be the most dominant nation on the planet Earth. And it will not prophetically be ran by Japhetic people. So you should be well equipped now. Get the precepts that we writing down. And this is how you come at a guy who wants to come at you about Japheth being the so-called white man. Because his argument is Ashkenazi Jew. Okay, somebody look up Ashkenazi Jew too, and we'll get some that history. Go ahead.
It says, in Babylon, Isaiah 13:19, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
There you go. Go ahead.
It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there.
Right, no more Ishmael setting up a hot dog stand with a gas station. Okay, on with 7-Eleven.
Seeing Jake shaking his head at Jake.
Right. Go ahead.
It says, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there.
Right, because people made a bunch of money here. The Lord gonna destroy all of that. Okay, go ahead.
But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures. And owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there.
There you go. Unclean, there's going to be a gothic spirit. You know what I'm saying? Man. Go ahead.
And the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces.
Right.
And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged.
Right, and if it's burning forever and ever and ever, how they go dwell there?
Right. That's a good point. You know what I'm saying? How the beast gonna be there?
How they gonna be there?
Exactly.
If it's just gonna burn forever and ever, that's how you know eternal burning is symbolized. Burn forever is, all right, because the word forever could also mean for a period of time. Now, it's gonna be smoke forever, but when we fly over it, ultimately it's gonna always be a memorial for what happens to a nation that comes up against the Lord.
Right.
So we just read that. Now let's go back to Isaiah 34.
Isaiah chapter 34, verse 10. This judgment on Edom will never end. The smoke of its burning will rise forever. The land will lie deserted from generation to generation.
Right.
No one will live there anymore. It will be haunted by the desert owl and the screech owl.
But it just said Esau.
Right.
It just said Edom. Here, the same judgment is tied to Babylon. So wait a minute. Are we in Babylon right now?
Right, that's what you gotta figure out.
That's how you gotta walk these niggas down. And really, it's nothing to debate with a guy like him. But if you're gonna try to go in and answer his question, go in so the people can learn.
Edify.
Edify. IUIC got walked down by Ronald Dalton, man.
Oh, man.
On the topic of Japheth.
That's tragic work.
Tragic Johnson.
That's tragic work.
Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 47 and 1.
There you go.
Come down and sit in the dust.
O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground, there is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. There you go. That's end time prophecy. So there's a particular, just like Egypt was ran by, all right, the Egyptians, they were the seed of Ham. There is a biblical nationality tied to the people who would run Babylon the Great. Okay? But basically his argument is their argument is centered around this. Somebody get Ashkenaz. What's that in Genesis 10, Genesis 9? And then look up the word of the sons of Japheth. Go ahead.
This is Genesis chapter 10, verse 3. It says, I'm going to start at verse 2. The sons of Japheth.
This is their argument. We're going to give you their argument when they say Japheth is the so-called white man. Go ahead.
It says Gomer and Magog and Madai and
Gomer and Magog. See, those lands are named after the original descendants of Japheth. So when he came at IUIC saying, well, Gog and Magog are Japhetic names, he's saying, well, how could that be Esau? But he doesn't understand, historically, the Edomites took over those lands. They're in those lands right now, not the original Japhetic people.
Wouldn't the Ptolemaic dynasty Egyptian?
Right.
They said it was Egyptian.
Yeah, they put on actual pharaoh hats and said we the pharaohs.
Those last pharaohs.
Edomites.
Edomites hiding themselves.
Yeah, blackface.
They're Cherokee.
$5.
They call lands after their own name.
That's the prophecy. Yeah.
Somebody get that. Some remove landmarks. Go ahead.
It says
in Job.
Genesis Genesis 10 and 2. The sons of Japheth, Gomer and Magog, and Madai and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech and Tyrus. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphath.
Ashkenaz.
And Riphath and Sokimah.
Right, so look up Ashkenaz.
This is Ashkenaz in the Hebrew. That word is Ashkenaz, right? It says a man is sprinkled, fire scattered, a descendant of Japheth, a northern people, perhaps of Bithynia, but I have a Google also. It says I have Ashkenazi Jews. Right. Ashkenazi Jews.
So because Japheth's line is named Ashkenaz, you have this term that we know in modern times as Ashkenazi Jew. So they say, okay, well, they call themselves Ashkenazi Jew. They're Japhites because Ashkenaz is a descendant of Japheth. That's their argument.
That's where the whole argument comes from.
That's the argument, right?
That's crazy.
But let's take a look into what is an Ashkenazi. What do they mean by we're Ashkenazi Jews? Because Ashkenaz comes from Japheth, a Jew comes from Shem.
Right.
Right. So you can't descend from both. Right? So what are they talking about when they say we Ashkenazi Jews? Go ahead.
Ashkenazi Jews are one of the major Jewish ethnic divisions, historically descending from Jews who settled in Central and Eastern Europe after the diaspora.
There you go. And one of the lands that they settled in, go ahead.
It says the term Ashkenaz comes from Genesis 10 and 3, where Ashkenaz is listed as a descendant of Japheth through Gomer, traditionally associated with peoples in the area of Germany and Europe.
So the so-called white man, okay, moved his big nose ass over to the land of Israel, but they came from Germany, which is originally the land of Japheth. They were there, and they got rights through the first Aliyah. Okay, somebody put up on the comment board, somebody could put up what is the first Aliyah, the second Aliyah, or we can look it up. Whoever got a phone, just look up what is the first Aliyah all about. Okay? Just like Aliyah. Like age ain't nothing but a number. It's similar. That's an actual meaning to that name. But somebody just look it up. What is the Aliyah, the first Aliyah? When it took place in like the 1920s. So before 1948, those small hats were already moving back into the land of Israel. Okay, go ahead.
This is on Wikipedia of the first Aliyah. The first Aliyah also The first Aliyah, also known as the agricultural Aliyah, was a major wave of Jewish immigration to Ottoman Palestine between 1881 and 1903.
There you go. So that was it goes back further than the 1900s. So from the time of the 1800s, okay, the British had already had their minds set out on that land, because the state of Israel is nothing more than a furthering of British colonization. That's all it is. That's why they are ethnically cleansing the Palestinians out of that land. They're of the opinion that we're the royal people, this land belongs to us. Here it is, you got even Donald Trump sitting up here with a AI video on what they plan on doing with that land. Right. What the fuck about Detroit? What about California? What about the fires? What is your plan for your own people here in America? But here it is, you're boasting in what you're gonna do with the land that technically, if we want to get technical, the Arabs were already there. So read that again.
First Aliyah, Wikipedia, the first Aliyah, also known as the agricultural Aliyah,
right,
was a major wave of Jewish Jewish immigration to Ottoman Palestine between 1881 and 1903. Jews who migrated in this wave came mostly from Eastern Europe and from Yemen.
And that's the land of Japheth. But how did they get there? That's a whole nother history. Through what? Rape, robbing, and murdering.
Yep.
So what they did was came from the land of Japheth, where they stole and brought their asses over through the Aliyahs, through the ultimately unrighteous decrees, being brought by the numbers into the land of Israel. And then in 1948, Ben-Gurion said, we want to make this a Jewish state. And who backed it? The British. This is all nothing but a forwarding of the beast system. Okay, but they're hiding it under what? Being the chosen people of God. Now, what scripture says that the chosen people of the Lord, since y'all want to come and scrutinize somebody, what about what the hell they doing? How are they justified in being Jewish or the people of the Lord, but waging war to get the land back? Why ain't they being scrutinized?
Man. Cultists.
You know, Dr. Mason, the dude, they want a grape right. Well, you got Palestinian women getting grape right now.
Yeah, toe up.
Toe up.
Yep. Every day. I got a precept.
So you people have nothing for the Israelites, but you got to come to the right doctrine. And we ain't coming to you. We ain't meeting with you. We ain't showing up on no live show with your ass. You bring your monkey ass down here. If we want to deal with you, we may deal. But the majority, especially you Christians, don't come around us. God. We'll call 911. We'll listen to Wyclef's ass. Okay?
They never want
he was loud in the mouth.
They never want to talk about what happened to the Edomites during the time of the Assyrian captivity.
Right.
You know?
Yep. They were always there, man. And they're prophesied to be here. And now everybody wants to somehow make them just sweep them under the rug. No. We're going to talk about this.
Yes.
So if everything that we just said, from the time we start talking about Japheth to now, if you write down all of those points, you got the breakdown. But there's even more history that you could go into with the Minoans and the original Japhites, pictures of the dark-skinned Japhetic people, the Etruscans, Romulus and Remus. Rome was originally inhabited by Japheth people, Japhetic people.
And Romulus and Remus, they were offshoots of the Japhetic people, really.
Yep.
And then when you study the stories of the families that were tied to Romulus and Remus, they were infiltrators, which ties to fucking Edomites. Right?
Yep.
This story of, this small tribe leader going and raping somebody within the Japhetic people, causing a war. Then there's stories in this is these other books when you read like pieces of the book of Yasher and bullshit like that, or they talk about how some of the dukes of Edom, basically Medicail, I think it was Medicail, something like that, basically had weapons deals and shit, where they sold they sold their lands to get weapons, got the weapons, and then attacked the tribe that they got the weapons from, and then took all the goods that they had back.
Right.
And then took them over.
Yep, I got this for you real quick. Prophet, the GMS prophet Nehemiah, Job 24:2. Some remove landmarks, they violently take away flocks and feed thereof.
That's what Esau has done, man. When you study the history of how Esau got up in there during the time of the Renaissance, from the time of about, 1100 AD leading up into 1400, 1500 AD, is diabolical, man.
Right.
I tell brothers all the time, when I went over to Central Europe and I got to learn the history of the Habsburg dynasty, and I got to see the rise of these guys in Vienna, Austria, and all of that, right? And the wars that they had with Vlad Tepes in Romania. And everything like that.
God damn.
Bro, Esau took their time of marrying into families, taking this person down, doing it. Bro, Esau's diabolical, man.
He's crazy.
They did the same thing with the Native Americans, man. Okay?
Yeah, we'll close it out in a minute.
Yeah, but that's all I want to say on that, man.
Yep, let's just finish off with Micah.
You got to be spiritually discerned to see and understand this history and tie it in with the prophecies. Okay?
Yep. So that's the breakdown. We broke it down through the Spirit, and we didn't come out here planning on doing that. That was the Spirit of the Lord worked with us to do that. It ain't of us.
Yeah.
But the Spirit of the Lord, the breakdown, now you got it.
And it's on the comment board too. Brothers got all the precepts on the comment board. So if you don't want to get it, the Spirit is just not with you, man.
Right.
You're just trying to save the so-called white man. Fuck him, man.
Right.
Fuck the so-called white man.
Yep, Esau. Fuck
Well,
him.
he's an Edomite, man.
Right.
Most of the so-called white people are Edomites, man. They have fucked over everybody, bro. They fucked over the plants, the air.
And that was their blessing right there.
And now they blame it. They set themselves up to be victims to Jake right now.
Now it's like, we gotta fight back against white guilt. Fuck these people, man.
Right.
Nobody ever, bro. They've been fucking over everybody, bro. Now they want to say you so-called Negroes are the biggest criminals on earth.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
When they done committed genocide all across the goddamn planet. Geocide. Killing the earth, man.
Beyond meat. Who made Beyond Meat? It's Beyond Meat. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
The problem with the earth is not you so-called Negroes. Y'all don't have the power to be the problem.
Right, you're just a problem.
You're just a problem,
Right.
But you're not the problem.
Right.
When you look into every major industry that what's wrong with it and get the root cause of who's behind it, you will find the problem. It's the Edomite.
Straight up.
You niggas that's trying to save these people instead of follow the scriptures, the Most High is gonna kill you, man.
Yep, you through. Yep, go hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. So that's the point.
Hold on, one more thing. You cannot take an objective look at the last 2,000 years and not find the problem.
That's the problem.
You cannot take an object. World War I is not niggas.
Right.
World War II is not niggas.
Monsanto.
Come on.
GMOs ain't niggas.
Blocking the sun.
Yeah.
Chemtrails.
Yeah, going to Mars.
Poison water.
Bro,
Didn't the Lord say that
chattel slavery, how diabolical do you have to be to put so much money to get on a boat to just get niggas?
The nigga came on a boat.
We gotta go back.
That's
get
the
some
real
more.
pull-up boys.
You want to talk about a drive-by?
The doctrine of discovery.
That's crazy work.
They destroyed Afghanistan for poppy.
Yeah.
for heroin. But you know what's the problem? You niggas in the hood.
Yeah.
You got a problem.
Pookie and Ray Ray.
Y'all the reason that America is out of control.
Well, what they say is niggas are only 13% of the population, but commit the majority of the crime. Because when an Edomite starts pulling out statistics, he's dangerous.
Yeah.
Because they can use them statistics to make moves.
Yeah.
Pseudoscience. No, go ahead.
He'll decree unrighteous decrees at that point. You know what I'm saying? He'll frame, like the scripture says, he frameth mischief by law.
Yep.
And you clearly see Esau doing that.
Yep.
He's the one framing mischief by law. He's the one that's going around the planet Earth using the sword to completely destroy people.
Yeah, leave Japheth alone.
Yeah.
Niggas out of your mind, man.
Exactly.
You about to say something?
I was going to read Hebrews chapter 12 and 16. Hebrews chapter 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
You can drive one of us. Read it again. You got it in the NLT?
No.
Okay.
I just got it in the KJ. Hebrews chapter 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Right, profane person, man. And when you read it, it says, see that no one is sexually immoral. It doesn't use Japheth as the standard of wickedness and would not to be.
Didn't it say once Alexander the Greek died, evils multiplied?
Multiplied.
And in Genesis it says wickedness multiplied. So it's like, what kind of multiplication they doing?
They wicked.
They wicked.
But somehow, everybody want to just nah, man.
He got his blessing through that same means.
Yeah.
The sword.
The sword, man.
I mean, he went around the earth, effing up everything. That was the blessing he got from Isaac. The fattest of the earth. He got the fattest of the earth by deceit, being the devil. So he got his thing, man. This is his world. That's why Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning thereof. He got his world. That's it. It's ending.
This is his blessing.
Right.
He was promised the fatness of the earth, and then when it happened, you don't want to tie it to Esau.
Come on. It's obviously him.
This is the mentality Jake is in the last days, and the greatest Israelite camp in the world can't defend that.
Makes no sense. It's funny. Esau helping his pockets out.
Now y'all go pop up the next week with a whole breakdown. You should have been able to do that on the spot. At this point in the game, you ain't no guy who just started a camp. You may have a guy young in the spirit. He get questioned what he don't fully know. Okay, now watch and listen and break it down. But come on, man, you've been around 80 years, nigga. And I don't mean that. I ain't gonna. He was in before me, but you acting like a nigga, man.
But he ain't on the truth, though.
Yeah, and I said Magog is from God.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all say they act like Gog and Magog is like two different things. Like, no, it's yeah,
Of the land of of the land of God.
The land, yeah.
But those lands were originally Japhetic.
Right.
But you just got to know how to link it. So the point was made. It's raining. We don't want to destroy everything. So through the Spirit, we're gonna give all praises to the Heavenly Father.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, HaKadosh.
Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect, man. Shalom.
Shalom.
To my real OGs, and we out. Tupac. My real OGs, and we out.